Welcome again to another video from Southern Savannah in conjunction with Nirex and all the other Chinese machine suppliers, Local, Yingge, Mimaj, Grafco. In this video we're going to be talking about a very specific problem that arises on the capping station. You've turned your machine on, maybe power went out when you were printing, and then you get this error here which says cap error, sensor or motor error, power down, please check. Now this error is very self-explanatory. When it says cap error or sensor or motor error, it's an issue that normally arises from either the cap sensor, the capping motor or capping station motor, or sometimes it's just the alignment of the gears with the motor. I'm going to show you how to diagnose that and how to fix that. Okay, cool, let's go. First thing I do when I get an error, I turn my machine off. With my machine being off now, if you can come along, I'm going to show you something. This here is what we call the cap sensor. Right. Again, every part I'm going to talk about here, we supply them as spares and we have them available. Do contact us if you do need any. Now, this sensor is supposed to be here, screwed in. Sorry, one moment. Yeah. Screwed in to make sure that it is on this hose here. But on some machines you're going to find it's going to be somewhere at the back, but it's all fine. The thing I need you to understand is once we see that error, we need to locate this guy. If this thing is electrically gone, maybe something happened, a shock or whatever, that simply means we have to change it. So the first form of diagnosis, if you have a spare one, is simply to change it. The second thing you can do is to take it out and make sure that there is no ink on it, because normally you find that sometimes ink is sprayed onto it and it's not able to sense anymore. Now you simply clean it, but especially in the middle is where it has the sensing part. So you make sure it's clean and no ink is coming out, and once you see that you put a tissue there and it comes out properly clean, then you know that I can mount it back on. And if the device itself is perfectly fine, the component itself is perfectly fine, then I shouldn't have any more errors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my head to the side so that I can properly work on the station without any disturbance. Again, may I reiterate, we have stripped the machine open so that you can see clearly what we're doing. On your machine you may find out that everything is covered. Ergo, you will have to open up and remove the covers so that you can see and access these things that we are accessing here. Alright, now as we connect the sensor and mount it, understand the height at which I set it at also matters. Sometimes if I set it too low, it means that the motor would have moved down too much by the time it triggers the cap. So I might want to raise it higher. That's another thing to note. It's the height at which I set my cap sensor. Right. I'm going to put it at a certain height. And once it's in, we're going to tie it in. There we go. Alright, with my sensor being tied in, another important thing to know is I can move by simply opening the side panel here. I can be able to access the motor itself and move it manually for the station. So I can simply do this to move it up and do it the other way to move it down. And I move it to the lowest position. Once it's at the lowest position here, then I'm going to turn the machine on. As I do, I just want to make sure that my cap is going to go up unhindered. Alright, excellent. And as you can see, everything has been sorted.